I will call the meeting to order at, looks like 9:02 there. And we'll start with the anthem. We'll see what we have this morning. Should be interesting.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us defend.
No need to God keep on there. God keep on there.
Innocent.
We stand alone. Canada, we stand on ground.
Yeah, I thought there was a little Caribbean vibe there going on. Well, thanks for keeping us on our toes anyway, Nathan. Appreciate that. Okay, any additions to the agenda this morning?
Mr. Deputy Mayor, were you going to do the land acknowledgement?
Not this morning. We had been doing it every council meeting, and then we decided it kind of lost its meaning. So now we do the land acknowledgement whenever we're out at various events and stuff.
Okay,
And, also some of our committee meetings.
thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administration has one added item to the agenda, proposed that as 9.8, price reduction / forgiveness.
Okay, thank you. So everybody's got that 9.8. And any additions from any council? Okay. Can I get excuse me. Can I get somebody to adopt the agenda for October 30th, 2024, please? Thank you. As amended. Thank you. Any corrections or amendments to the October 16th minutes of the regular council meeting?
Mr. Deputy Mayor, did you call the question on adoption of the agenda?
Oh, excuse me. All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, any corrections or amendments on the October 16th council meeting minutes? Okay. And can I get an adoption of the minutes from the October 16th regular council meeting and also the October 16th organizational meeting minutes?
So moved, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, we'll move on to proclamations. Proclamation we have this morning is for Family Violence Prevention Month, which is November. Whereas domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and gender-based violence continue to devastate lives in Alberta, these forms of violence disproportionately affect women, Indigenous women, and LGBTQ2S+ individuals. The province consistently ranks among the highest in Canada for police-reported IPV cases, and Whereas abuse crosses all barriers and includes emotional, physical, psychological, sexual, and/or financial abuse and affects people of all ages. The effects of family violence may be carried on from generation to generation, and all Albertans have a role to play in preventing family violence. And whereas the Purple Lights campaign is a public campaign to raise awareness of domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and gender-based violence. And whereas through this campaign, the Pembina Crisis Connection Society and the town of Drayton Valley are urging everyone to stand together and confront these alarming statistics. Therefore, I, Deputy Mayor Rick Evans, on behalf of the Council for the town of Drayton Valley, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2024 as Family Violence Prevention Month in the town of Drayton Valley. Thank you. Okay, no public hearings. Yes, please.
Just on the proclamation, we have a Purple Light campaign, so the skating rink across the road has all got purple lights. Is there anything else that we do particularly for the Purple Lights campaign? The floodlights. All right. Thank you.
Okay. I guess we'll move right into decision items. Number 9.1. Mr. Hans van Klaver, please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair, and to the rest of Council and the public listening. So with the approval of the employment agreement between the town of Drayton Valley and Mr. Pat Vincent, Council must pass a resolution to formally appoint Pat Vincent to the position of Interim Chief Administrative Officer for the town of Drayton Valley. So with Mr. Vincent down here, of course, in attendance, the recommendation is for Council that Council appoint Pat Vincent as the Interim Chief Administrative Officer for the town of Drayton Valley pursuant to the Chief Administrative Officer Bylaw 2022/10/A and effective October 30th, 2024.
Thank you. Any questions? Debate? Please.
Deputy Mayor Evans, I would make a motion that Council appoint Pat Vincent as the Interim Chief Administrative Officer for the town of Drayton Valley pursuant to the Chief Administrative Officer Bylaw 2022-10-A and make it effective October 30th, 2024, which is today.
Any questions, comments?
Just a comment, having said, we're happy to have you here. Thank you very much.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, members of council, it gives me great pleasure to be here today and to accept the appointment. And I look forward to working with you over the next several months. In the very brief time I've been with the town, I've received the warmest of welcomes. We have an outstanding administration, and it's a delight to work with such a professional council. Looking forward. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you, sir. We're, as Councillor Gamana said, we're happy to have you here. Look forward to the next months ahead. So, you have a question? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next we'll move into the Mr. van Klaveren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through to the rest of council. So with this being effective, of course, at this moment, officially that means that with the appointment of Mr. Pat Vincent in his position, that the position for myself and Elvira Thompson are, let's say, ending right now. That means officially, of course, I transition the meeting over and for administration side, of course, to the interim CAO. We will not change positions down here at the table. Maybe we just move over kind of a signage on that side, but just to make sure that Mr. Pat Vincent will be administration's spokesperson from here on, and we can continue with the agenda as is.
Thank you for that, Mr. Van Claveren, and thank you for your hard work, both you and Elvira. You know, you've stepped up when the organization has needed you, and it's very much appreciated. We realize it's not easy to take that on while you're trying to cover your position. So yes, much appreciated. Thank you to you both. Okay, I'm going to move on now, sir. Thank you. Okay, Drayton Valley Municipal Library Board appointments, members at large and elected officials.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, members of council, the Town of Drayton Valley Library Board currently has 10 trustees, including 8 members at large, 1 elected member representing the Town of Drayton Valley Council, and 1 elected member representing Brazeau County. We will have 4 member at large vacancy and 1 elected member representing Brazeau County. We've received a number of applications which are part of the agenda package, and we submit for your consideration our recommendation that council appoint Ali Aladra, Amanda Jeffrey, and Mary Turner to the Drayton Valley Municipal Library Board, each for a 3-year term ending on October 31st of 2027. If you have any questions or any clarifications, we'd be pleased to respond.
Okay, I'll open it up to council. Any questions, concerns, comments?
Deputy Mayor, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Just going through the agenda package, I didn't see a package for one individual. So I believe for Ms. Sanderson, I didn't see it there. Just wondering, maybe I missed it, I'm not sure, but
Sorry, who was that for?
Ms. Sanderson.
It's the page,
It's the last one.
it would be page 27 of 73 in our agenda package, and it's just a single page application. Leah Sanderson. So it's actually 2 pages, I'm sorry. Page
Okay,
27 and 28.
I
of
do
the
see that,
agenda
I'm sorry
package.
about that.
Thank you.
Does
I guess the question would be the recommendation just coming from the library board itself, or how did we get that?
Thank you for that question, Councilor Gamana, and to the rest of council. Yes, that's correct. So we always have for the library board appointments connection with the library board through their library director, and this is the recommendation from the library board.
Thank you.
All right. Any additional, Sean?
Councilor Gamana raises, I think, an interesting point. If we have a list of, let's say we have a list of 8 and we need 3 positions, library board, which is where I think it should be making recommendations back to council. It seems a little redundant for us to then look through the application and say, maybe I liked number 7. Now, what would we do with that? How would that work? And why would we even do it? So I just think there's some redundancy, and once the recommendation is there that we don't necessarily need to read through 8 applications, just in case we happen to have a different view than the library board. Does administration have a view on that?
Thank you for that question, Councilor McGee. So as the Library Act states that the library board, of course, does not appoint the members. So that's the council where the library situates. So that's Council of Drayton Valley appoints the members. And with that said, of course, the library board can be consulted in who they like to have, because they most likely have connection with already interested parties. They connect with the people themselves. So it means that it's a recommendation to follow that. And that's why this is the recommended action. But it's not needed to be per se happening. Council can, of course, because they are appointing the members, deviate from the recommendation from both the library board and the recommendation from administration accordingly, and make up the appointment themselves. But we have this, let's say, more often happening, of course, but especially with the library board, it's really recommended to follow the proposal from the library board, but it's council's prerogative.
So have then to appoint the Brazos County representative whom they recommend to us, and then generally we would appoint that. It's just a small mystery for me, but it doesn't feel like that's the way that should work, and I don't know any other way of doing it, but I think raising that point. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor McGee. I'm of the mind that I look to the board of the library to make the recommendation, and generally I'll follow that. Any more additional comments, questions, please, Councillor
Thank you.
Gamano?
If I may again, so we say that we need 10 members for the board, and then we have 3 here, and I believe there's 1 each from Brazos County and Town of Drayton Valley. So there are some other vacancies there as well. Did the library board mention that, if they are pursuing for those positions as well, or is when we appoint these 3, is it full? Slate is full.
Yes, that's correct. It's full.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So the additional members would be serving their existing term, correct? Okay. Okay, any additional discussion? I get a motion? Please, Councillor McGee.
Deputy Mayor Evans, I would make a motion that council appoint Ellie Ladra, Amanda Jeffrey, and Mary Turner to the Drayton Valley Municipal Library Board, each for 3-year term ending October 31st, 2027.
Questions, comments? All in favor? Passed. Okay. Now, move on to the Drayton Valley Child Care Board member application appointment. Mr. Vaughn Claveren.
Just drawn to my attention, Mr. Deputy Mayor, members of council, that the previous motion should have also included and appoint the member from the Brazos County Council as part of that resolution. So if we might go back and just have a second resolution that council appoint the 1 elected member representing Brazos County, that would complete that transaction. And then Brazos County would simply name their elected official. We can appoint that person without being named at this particular time.
Okay, so how,
Sorry, I was going to say I can maybe probably make a friendly amendment to the motion that you mentioned.
No, as Mr. Chair, Mr. Deputy Mayor, as the motion's already been passed, it would now be proper under parliamentary procedure just to do a second resolution that council appoint 1 elected member representing Brazos County Council, period.
okay, somebody like to make that additional motion?
I would.
Please. Huh?
Deputy Mayor Evans, I would make a motion that we
Include the elected member from.
Move the elected member Glenn Gunderson to the library board from the county of Brazeau.
Thank you very much.
All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, now we will move on to the Drayton Valley Child Care Board member application appointments.
Mr. Deputy Mayor and members of council, town bylaw 2008/01/C, amended by bylaw 2023/01/C, also known as amending bylaw for 2008/01/C Drayton Valley Child Care Board, requires in section 4, composition of the board, that the Drayton Valley Early Childhood Development Center Board consists of 3 community at-large members and 1 counselor from the town of Drayton Valley and 1 counselor from Brazeau County. The members shall be appointed by resolution of town council for either a 2-year or a 3-year term. The 3 community at-large positions are due to expire tomorrow, October 31st of 2024. We've received applications from our public, and I just make comment, the public participation by interested communities is what weaves a very strong tapestry and fabric within our community, and certainly welcome that particular interest and participation. The administration is pleased to submit for your consideration the following recommendation. The council reappoint Chai Middleton and Joanna Shaw, each for a 3-year term expiring on October 31st of 2027, and Jessica Starling for a 2-year term ending October 31st of 2026 to the Drayton Valley Child Care Board, and that council appoint Donna Wiltsey as the Brazeau County elected official for a 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025. We'd be pleased to respond to any questions or provide any clarification. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, comments from council? If there's none, can I get a motion? Councillor Sheriffs, please.
Would you like me to read the motion again or just?
I think so, yeah.
I'll make the motion that council reappoint Chai Middleton and Joanna Shaw, each for a 3-year term expiring October 31st, 2027, and Jessica Starling for a 2-year term ending October 31st, 2026 to the Drayton Valley Child Care Board, and that council appoint Donna Wiltsey as the Brazeau County elected official for a 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025.
Thank you, Councillor. Any questions, comments? All those in favor? Okay. Perfect. We're moving through the agenda at a good pace. Thank you. Section number 9.4, Family and Community Support Services Board Appointments.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, members of council, town bylaw 2018/14/B requires that Drayton Valley and District Family and Community Support Services, FCSS Board, consist of 7 members who shall be appointed by resolution of town council for either 1, 2, or 3-year terms. When vacancies occur, applicants for the FCS Board membership must meet the criteria stated in the FCSS bylaw 98-14, including place of residence, age group category. As per the FCSS bylaw, board members are then selected on the basis of an active interest in FCSS activities and community development as a whole. The membership for Sandra Blades, Drayton Valley Community Member at Large, expires on October 31st of 2024. The position was advertised and 1 application was received, and that was from Sandra Blades. Brazeau County submitted Councillor Donna Wiltsey to represent Brazeau County elected official position for the Brazeau County Member at Large. There were no applications submitted at the town at this time. So based on all of that, we're pleased to submit the following recommendation for your consideration to appoint the following applicant for the recommended term. Sandra Blades would prefer a 3-year term, and administration is recommending a 3-year term. Councillor Donna Wiltsey for a 1-year term representing Brazeau County elected official.
Thank you, sir. Sandra is a very busy lady. Her name keeps coming up with a lot of these committees. She puts a lot of time into our community, and we thank her for that. Okay, any questions or comments on this one from council?
If I may, I can make a motion.
Please do.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to make a motion that council reappoint Sandra Blades as Drayton Valley Community Member at Large, representative for a 3-year term ending October 31st, 2027 to Drayton Valley Family and Community Support Services Board, and that council appoint Brazeau County Councillor Donna Wiltsey for 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025, the Family and Community Support Services Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gamana. Any questions, comments? All those in favor? Thank you. Now we'll move on to number 9.6. Sustainability Committee Member Appointment.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, may we deal with 9.5, I believe, first?
Excuse me, I marked 9.5 off there a little quickly. Okay, 9.5.
Thank
Brazeau
you.
Foundation Board appointment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you.
Brazeau Foundation is an organization which manages social housing programs in Drayton Valley and surrounding area. And I think we all know the importance of the foundation in our community. Operations for this foundation are mandated through a provincial ministerial order and governed by a local board of directors. And that is attached to the report for your reference. Social housing programs being offered include the Shangri-La Lodge, senior apartments projects, family/individual housing programs, and the direct-to-tenant rent supplement program. These programs will have separate reporting requirements and separate budgets. The Brazeau Foundation Board of Directors composition, as outlined in the ministerial order for the Brazeau Foundation Board and confirmed by their executive director, consists of the following membership, comprised of 3 elected officials and 2 appointed members at large. There are 2 members from town of Drayton Valley, 2 members from Brazeau County, and 1 member from the village of Breton. The membership for Mrs. Jeanette Vatter, community member at large for the town of Drayton Valley, expires on October 31st of 2024. The position was advertised in the Drayton Valley Western Review, as well as on the town's website and Facebook pages. 1 application, and that being from Mrs. Jeanette Vatter, has been received. We're pleased to submit for your consideration the following recommendation: that council reappoint Jeanette Vatter as a community member at large for the town of Drayton Valley on the Brazeau Foundation Board for a 1-year term ending October 31st of 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
Just a comment. I think you mentioned Western Review. I'm not sure if it's Western Review or Free Press that we advertise. Free Press? Okay, thank you.
Can I get a motion?
Sure.
Please, go ahead.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion that council reappoints Ms. Janet Vetter as committee member at large for the town of Drayton Valley on the Brazeau Foundation Board for 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025. Thank you.
All those in favor? Thank you. Okay, now we can go to 9.6. Sustainability Committee Member Appointment.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, we're moving this agenda along very quickly this morning. The Town of Drayton Valley Sustainability Committee is an advisory and implementation body with a mandate to provide advice and local perspective on community sustainability, plus undertake initiatives with regards to the overall quality of life and environment, including strategies, projects, events, support, issues, and trends while promoting responsible stewardship, volunteerism, active living, and social well-being within the community. Under committee membership composition and the terms of reference approved by council on July 20th, 2022, and that was resolution 141/22. The Sustainability Committee is a body composed of up to 3 community representatives who have experience and interest in quality of life for the community and align with the mandates and objectives of the Sustainability Committee. One application was received, Cynthia Gilroy, and she indicated no preference for the length of the term. Based on the submission, administration is pleased to recommend for your consideration that council appoint Cynthia Gilroy for a 1-year term to the Sustainability Committee, that term ending on October 31st of 2025.
Thank you, sir. Any comments, questions? I get a motion,
I would make that motion.
please?
Mayor Evans, that council appoint Cynthia Gilroy for a 1-year term to the Sustainability Committee ending on October 31st, 2025.
Any additional questions, comments? All those in favor? Thank you. Now, we shall move on to the Youth Advisory Committee member appointment, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Town Bylaw 2022/18/C Youth Advisory Committee states the following in section 2. The purpose of the bylaw is to establish a youth advisory committee operating in accordance with the Town of Drayton Valley's Advisory Committee terms of reference, which are an addendum to this bylaw and can be amended by council from time to time. The Town of Drayton Valley Youth Advisory Committee terms of reference state the following in section 4. 2 youth representatives from the school division as follows: 1 representative from Wild Rose School Division, 1 representative from St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic School Division, 5 community youth representatives between the ages of 14 and under 25 at the time of appointment or renewal, reflecting the diversity of youth in our community. Total of 2 applications were received. Administration recommends appointing the following applicants for the recommended term below. Kenza Dodds has submitted an application for reappointment and has no preference to the length of term. Administration is recommending 1-year term. Dylan Starling would prefer a 1-year term, and administration recommends appointing Dylan Starling for a 1-year term. We have submitted that recommendation on page 49 of our agenda package, that council reappoint Kenza Dodds to the Drayton Valley Community Advisory Committee for a 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025, and that council appoint Dylan Starling to the Drayton Valley Youth Advisory Committee for a 1-year term also ending on October 31st of 2025. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from council? Can I get a motion then, please? Councillor Sheriffs?
I'll make a motion that council reappoint Kenza Dodds to the Drayton Valley Youth Advisory Committee for a 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025, and that council appoint Dylan Sterling to the Drayton Valley Youth Advisory Committee for a 1-year term ending October 31st, 2025.
Okay, I'll ask all those in favor. Thank you. And I'll just mention, thank you to all those folks who have volunteered for this, for these various committees and board appointments. The town relies on our volunteers to help with all these various committees and boards, and it's very much appreciated, the folks who are giving up their time to help us out in that regard. So with that, we'll move on to, please.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just add, we had a discussion at the library board with the county of Brazeau just about how they had an open house to see if people could come in and then they can ask questions about the committees and how it fits, what's the terms, those kinds of things. But in that conversation, it seemed that they didn't have the library board as part of theirs, or the social committees that are happening within our community as a whole. And so between Mr. Gunderson and myself, we had thought that perhaps there may be an opportunity for the two of us to come together and have a bit of an open house so that people are aware that you can join from the county, you can join from the town, here's the terms, and so that you get people that are that might be interested but have no clue, no idea that they could be. And so I thought that we would just take note of it in my mind and say, and we could even add it, quite frankly, onto one of our agendas that we have where we meet together and just have that quick discussion and carry that through.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. The open house really sort of lets people have a look at all the different things that they can participate in, as opposed to relying on the advertisements, et cetera. So, and I think we've had discussions previous with council that an open house would be a great idea, but combining the two municipalities, I think would be good. Should we look at maybe having that a more in-depth discussion next council meeting, and then, like you say, bringing it to our next meeting with the Brazeau County Council? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So we're on to 9.8. Mr. Von Claveren, please go ahead.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chair, and I would like to circulate here the little bit of information as well. So regarding this agenda item, in the beginning of the month of October, Diane Sinclair reached out to inquire regarding financial relief for the expenses related to a retired hospital staff reunion, a gathering that includes a meal. At the council meeting of October 16th, administration indicated that the request would not qualify for the community event grant consideration, as it would not fit the criteria for a community-wide open public event. Administration mentioned that it would be possible to have it brought forward at the October 30th meeting for council's discussion and consideration to either decline the request or allocate support funding or forgiveness. For the past 2 years, Diane Sinclair hosted this retired hospital staff reunion event. It started with 35 attendees, then 70, and now expecting over 100 participants. This gathering is open to all former staff from all hospital departments. It's been a huge success, and therefore she's asking for a larger venue this year. A kitchen facility would be an asset for the caterer. In the meantime, there has been ongoing discussions and conversations with our event staff planning at the facilities that we have, so things are a little bit fluent. The curling rink is temporarily booked for this Thursday, November 7th. The organization indicated that they are looking at the Mackenzie Center, but mentioned that the venue rental on top of the catering fees is basically out of the price range. Therefore, Diana is saying that any help for relief of the expenses would be greatly appreciated and is thankful for consideration. The rental fees are annually set by council as part of the budget process, and those would be applied for this event. The current total for the reserved facility, and it came down now to the curling rink lounge plus kitchen, is $380 plus GST. Administration recommends having those currently applied rental fees for the event remain as is and invoice the event organizer accordingly. This recommendation would be solidified when council accepts the price reduction forgiveness request for the November 7th, 2024 retired hospital staff reunion event for information only. Alternatively, council can forgive part or in full the current rental amount and therefore reduce the rental revenue for the curling rink facility. In that case, administration will inform Brazeau County as it impacts the total revenue collected as user fees for this recreational facility. So that alternative could sound as that council reduce the facility cost by X amount of dollars for the retired hospital staff reunion event on November 7th, 2024. So with this, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, Mr. Van Klaveren. Questions, comments from council?
Mr. Deputy Mayor, I can add a bit to Mr. Van Klaveren's remarks. I did speak with Diane Sinclair last evening, and we've concluded, or she has concluded with her committee that there will be about 60 in attendance. They need 10 tables, 10 round tables, and the curling rink lounge will be a perfect venue for them. The issue is about the caterer and the kitchen, so they do need the kitchen to set up. I don't think it's where they need the actual cook, but they need the setup. And I understand that in communication with Alicia, that Diane has secured the kitchen for free. So we're left with $66 per hour for the curling rink lounge, which is in our rate schedule. In further discussion with her, the ticket price to attend will cover that. They'd hoped to do was, if it's, let's use a number of $360, they would then turn that same $360 that's in the ticket price into New Beginnings, which is coming out of Brighter Futures. Angela Dirksen runs that one, and those that were on tour on last Monday would have saw that comes out of that particular department at Rotary House. So in my mind, for us to recognize the retired hospital staff reunion, I would hope that we would forgive that rental income, knowing full well that it will come back to us in another way. Now, I recognize that it's the can of worms, or everybody needs something, but I'm not sure if I'm not of that mind where you can't have one-offs, and I'm of the mind that this would be a one-off, and I'm prepared to make a motion that we forgive that rent. Comments?
Councilor Gamana?
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, Councillor Maggie's comments. Yes, it's a one-off, and as a council, it's tough to make one-off decisions just because it could come back, like you mentioned. But in the end of the day, I think the folks here has done a tremendous service to our community for a number of years. So we need to recognize that. And the dollar amount that they are asking, I think I'm in favor of supporting this request. If it comes to another request, then we'll deal with it at that time. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Sheriffs, anything? Yes, I agree, Councilor Gamana. I think our nurses and hospital staff are, have had a challenging few years, let's say, and they continue to work in a challenging environment. And I think if we can give them a break on this, on the facility cost to show our appreciation for all the good work they do, I think I'd be in support of that too. Understanding that, you know, we'd have to make that communication, of course, with Brazeau County since they fund this facility with us, but I'd like to think that they would be in support of this too. So if there's no other questions, please, Councillor McGee, go ahead with your motion.
Councillor McGee, I believe that our recording secretary has the motion, so if you would read it out, please.
Council produced the facility cost by whatever amount,
$360.
$360 for the retired hospital staff reunion event on November 7th, 2020.
And
And administration will inform Brazeau County as it impacts the total revenue collected as user fees for this recreation facility.
I think it's $380, if
oh,
I'm not
380.
mistaken.
Yes, sorry, my mistake. Thank you for correction.
And that would be the motion that we've just read. And I would accept that motion, not accept it, but I would take that with one proviso that at some point in time, we need to have a discussion at our joint council meetings with the County of Brazos, that every time this happens, if we direct it across to, and it takes a month and a half to come back around to us, we should be able to have a conversation around these $300 and, you know, about whether or not they would accept that. And I think that would be an interesting conversation for us to have. So we'll just add that to our next joint council
Meeting. Yeah. And I agree. Maybe we even set a limit that we can go ahead and approve for over the year or something that they wouldn't have an issue with. This is a fairly small amount. And like I say, I'd be surprised if Brazeau County Council would have an issue with it. So with that, I'll ask all those in favor. Thank you. Passed. Okay. Now we're on to department reports. Number 10.1, Community Recreation Services Department, Mr. Von Klaveren again. You've been busy today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Deputy Mayor. So the Community and Recreation Service Department report always has a couple of items in there, and the highlighted items you see down here that I would like to bring forward. So we see in the ECDC a little bit of change in the facility itself. There was one room that was underutilized. It's the boot room coming in. That has been changed into a utilized space for groups, and the boots and the jackets and stuff like that found another good place in the facility. And they're happy, of course, to use this spot for another 10 kids during the daily activities. FCSS is working already in the seasons, and you see that for Santa's Workshop. So the Santa's Workshop will be done on Sunday, December 1st. Everybody's, of course, welcome to figure out what they can contribute to this event, but it's really good to see this coming into our new seasons again. The Omniplex Center has been working hard with the event that's coming up, our Oil County celebration with the Oilers. There's a lot happening on that day in that facility. The opening happens over there. Then we have later in the afternoon the game with the kids from minor hockey, and then of course the Thunder game in the evening. So there's a lot going on in that facility that has to be prepped and ready, and it takes place, of course, on November 8th, 2024. We're happy to announce that the clock is fully functioning. It has been a little bit of a trouble with a couple of moments, but we have the clock working and the sound system being tested out, but it works for now as it's supposed to. In the Ricochet Oil Corp pool, the aquatic center, of course, we have a lot of events happening, and we are really at Halloween right now. So the Halloween Splash Dance was a smaller event that we did last Friday. but it's great to see every month there will be an event. So keep your eyes out for events that are happening in the pool that are special, basically attendance and events that they put on. For community services, our outreach worker, Vanessa, is still working hard and doing her items that she is appointed for in her position, and working with our, let's say, community service officers, our FCSS, and of course, going out to the businesses, for instance, with our toolkit, that the businesses are informed how to handle and what their options are when they encounter let's say, situations that they want to take care of, involving her as the outreach worker. The facilities, like I said, there's a lot going on in the repairs and maintenance and ongoing items. We are in the winter season, and we're happy that, let's say, all our facilities are operational and running with going into winter mode. If there's any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from council?
The risk of
Councillor McGee?
prolonging the agenda.
We're moving along here.
Trying to
sir.
get to
We're
call.
moving along.
I have 2 points that I would like to make is on November 13th, we have a council meeting and the poverty simulator, financial strain and homelessness is 1 to 4. Just making everyone aware that we may come into that particular one late. The question I have on the Omniplex is the parking lot arrangement. We were going to move pylons around or something in order for people to, I don't know, be more careful when they're driving in the parking lot. Has that been accomplished?
Thank you for that question, Councillor McGee, and it has not been accomplished yet. So of course I can take a look at the Public Works, our colleague over there, if she can update on that item when she does her reporting.
Okay, that's great. The third question is about, watching global news. Excuse me, but I try to watch some mainstream news. But the global news, we're talking about an elaborate camp in one of the parks in Edmonton, and so the minister of the day, Mr. Nixon, said, "This is exactly what we need to do. Is we need to keep tearing these camps down." And I think that was the period on that one. So I thought I would ask a question about our camps. Are we monitoring that? And we have a general sort of spot where we know by the landfill, but generally, have we got that under control, Mr. Ben Clonbert?
Thanks for that question, Councillor McGee. So yes, we do have that general under control, if that's what the terminology to be used. So we know when we have certain locations that are not landfill, that we address that with our peace officers, with if needed, RCMP and our Vanessa, to have those camps basically replaced to, if they want to, of course, utilize the landfill area, which has not had been designated by council as a permanent or let's say an endorsed site, but still that's a location which is possible. And of course, our shelter pods. So we know when we address certain items that the public, for instance, attends us to go to those locations where other camps seem to be in place and then address that. When there's camps, of course, on private property, we are waiting for the private property owners to address that as their site is basically. So we know those locations, and yeah, we took note, of course, as well of what happened at least with one camp that they saw in Edmonton again. We have, of course, at the moment in Ottawa, the Ending Homelessness conference happening, where we did a presentation as administration together with our mayor over there and a councillor as well. It's very good to see and hear that we are really looked at as a community, that know how to address certain items and that no escalating happens down here. So it's very good to see that we are listened to as well at a higher level of how we are doing things here in our community.
Just to follow up, we had a particular camp that was on the was a little bit south of the seasons and the pond that's in the, so there was, and we removed that. We removed the camp, asked them to move. But what is the responsibility for us to clean that camp up on private lands?
Thank you for that question. And of course, we can reach out to, let's say, the parties to be to take a look in who's that responsible for. And first of all, of course, it's the landowners that are responsible for making the site, let's say, sightly again, cleaning up things that are need to be addressed. But it's a private property, so in itself, as a municipality, we don't have the first responsibility to clean a private property.
So if the private property owner happens to be 80 years old, no ability quite to sort of understand that or even get to do that, would a request to the town be, would we then go in and do that and then put it to the taxes or something of that nature?
At any time, something that comes in, it's a case-by-case conversation that we will have and address as such, as a case-by-case, what we might be able to support as a municipality. Yes.
Any other questions, comments? I'll just make this comment. I've been an advocate as of late to push the enforcement with a small number of our homeless that I felt were creating issues. But I do honestly believe that as a municipality, we are doing a good job of managing the majority of our homeless folks. As you stated, Mr. Van Claveren, we're in Ottawa, sharing our experience and what we've done. And I think that speaks to the quality of the work that's being done on their behalf. I'm still of the mind that we have a very small percentage who do not wish to take advantage of what we offer within the town, and I do still support addressing those issues as we've seen, and I think we have. I've noticed a significant improvement coming to the town office here. So thank you to those who are doing that work. I know it's not enjoyable, but I think it had to be done. So I guess that's what I have to say on that. I will ask you, what's a Halloween splash dance? I'm curious about that.
No, thank you for that. So the Halloween splash dance took place already last week. So I don't have an attendance number on it, but it was a public event that people could sign in. There was let's say, different light. There was all kind of decorations, music. So it was a Halloween splash dance themed swim for the public.
I see. Excellent. Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Van Claveren. Any additional questions before we move on? Okay. Next, we have Growth Services.
Morning, Council. For the Growth Services Department report, I will just start with economic development. And so at the moment, with some good news, we potentially have a new tenant coming to rent out a space at the CETC. So they've shown some interest, and we've found a space that they like. And so they are due to at least come in starting January 2025. Moving on to how we are right now in the works of working with the University of Alberta on a future skills funding application to fill a temporary position for the U of A in the hopes of collaborating on the construction of a business support network. So this is very much still a fresh and new idea that we're trying to figure out with them. But the hope is that if this grant is successful, we can work towards the development of a business support network, which is sure to come in the next few council meetings, just so we can get a bit of background on that. Regarding the Rural Renewal Stream program, the first item for information is that the Alberta Advantage Immigration Program have recently executed an expression of interest system for all existing worker streams, including the Rural Renewal Stream program. And so this has been effective since September 30th. And it's a departure to their previous system where they would accept applications on a monthly basis. And so, so with this new system that they have in place for the expression of interest, it's now mostly about people that we endorse that now apply for nomination, having to fit a criteria. And in fitting that criteria, it's all points-based. And based on how many points you can accumulate, that's how you can then be selected through the expression of interest for nomination. So, that's sort of clamping down, making sure that only strong applications come through the process. Apart from that, for us internally, we are in the process of completing an audit of all the applications received since the inception of the program. So we're talking 300 plus applications that we're just working through, making sure we endorse everyone before starting with our new changed model for the Rural Renewal Stream program. And we're also doing that at the same time as we are working on a project plan for the Rural Renewal Stream program. It's one of those things where, for the immigration program, it seems we just didn't really have a plan in place for what the program is meant to achieve at the end of it. And so just working on that project plan so that when we open it up again, council will at least have a plan for what we think makes sense, that you can endorse and that can help us in the future. And so moving from there, under education, I just wanted to inform council that we did attend the RPAP conference in Wainwright, October 8th to the 10th, and we also did see Councillor Clark there. And of course, Wainwright is quite an important place for us to go for this conference because that's where the RN program first started, with it now being here in Drayton Valley. So definitely a lot of lessons learned during that conference. From there, just a few updates about the University of Calgary Registered Nurse Program. So the first is that applications are now open for a program start of fall 2025. So this is for the second cohort of students that they are now taking applications for, with the 9 already in the system and going through their classes. Apart from that, they do have an information session for the Wainwright and Drayton Valley areas on September 27. And so that's something we're trying to work with them on in trying to publicize that, get people excited about coming in for the info session so they can learn as much as they can before registering and being a part of the next year cohort. And I guess with some good news of the current cohort, we do have one student that signed up for the student recreation package. And as you remember, it's just a reduced rate for them to access both the pool and the rec facility. And so, the hope is to get more and more excited about it. And if it does work out going well, then we would want to, have this available to all students, right? Taking, all sorts of courses, right, through the Drayton Valley. Apart from that, just a quick update on, so this coming weekend, we have the Drayton Valley Outdoor Play and Nature Connection event. And so this is us working in partnership with ECDC. And we've been able to bring 2 facilitators to come in and basically go through a workshop with other people, that work within that space of children. So basically these facilitators are trying to promote kids playing outside, connecting with the outdoor. And we're able to get, more than 48 people registered for that event. And so the hope is we can try to do the same thing next year and the year after that, if it is successful this coming weekend. And from there, we did also host a job fair at the CETC in partnership with the Career Assistance Network on October 3rd, with a tentative plan to host another one mid-March. And, so with the job fairs, we try as best as we can to have businesses that have vacancies, looking for people to fill those vacancies, and have those people come to the CETC, talk to those businesses and see which ones fit for them. And so, so with the one we had, it was quite successful. We had quite a bit of people show up. And so just trying to do it again in March and see if we can drum up more people. And last but not least, for education, we did also attend the Future Skills Center Insights for Action Tour on October 1st, 2024, in which the town was able to speak on the zero fee tuition program. And now moving along to sustainability. So under the Clean Energy Improvement Program, we have now a total of 7 applications received for pre-qualification, with 2 applications that are expected to go into full approval by the end of the month. We also have 2 local contractors qualified for the SEEP program, with a 3rd contractor looking to be approved by the end of the month. But with that said, we are still working with Alberta municipalities in trying to get more contractors involved. And so we are in the process of working on a contractor engagement for January, just to try to get more Drayton Valley businesses to be part of the contractor list. So Drayton Valley homeowners can connect with them and have some of those improvements done to their homes. And that pretty much sums up my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Any questions or comments from council? Please, Councillor Gamana.
Thank you, and thank you, Kundi, for the report. Just regarding the changes to rural renewal stream, I'm trying to understand. I've got a few phone calls from the community. I'm assuming, I believe you got some phone calls as well, from anywhere from accounting firms to pharmacies to hospitality industry. So they are struggling to go through the process, and some of them are in kind of a time crunch as well, because the tax season is coming and they wanted to have their proper staff in place. So is there any way that we can help them to expedite the process a bit? I understand, and we've somewhat set the timeline until December, and it's 2 months from now, and then if you start the process, probably that's going to drag on for longer than that. So just wondering, if we have a means to help these organizations.
Yes, through the Deputy Mayor to Councillor Gamana. So at the moment, we do have a tentative timeline for November 13. So November 13 is when we would open it up again, also having a plan for what that would look like. And so, yes, quite a few businesses have been calling. And so we've just been trying to tell them, that we're just making sure that all these changes, once implemented, will be easy for them to sort of know, understand. And so by November 13 is when we think we should be done by it. So I don't think it would take until December for all those changes to come into play. And so, so at the moment, honestly, just trying to fulfill some of those requirements for the audit and for that project plan, and just making sure we're ready for when we open it up again, and so we can help out those businesses.
No, yeah, thank you for that. Exactly right. So it's just about helping the organization in the community, businesses in the community to help operate and find the staff. No, thank you very much for what you're doing there. Thank you.
Any other additional questions?
I have a
McGee?
comment, Deputy Mayor, please. And it has to do with the Rural Renewal Stream program as well. At one point in time, we talked about our risk and our liability. And so we're there. We receive applications, and we now have 300 plus. So, which I would imagine is a lot of work. And so we're now checking the boxes, right, to see if they, I think, strong applications is the word that you used. Do we have any liability if we reject, or if we ask for more information? Do we do that very often, or is it just more of a check, got all the material and we send it off to somebody else that may take more liability than we might?
Yeah, so through the Deputy Mayor to Councillor McGee. So we don't take any liability. In the way that the program is set up is that the province allows municipalities to basically personalize program as they see fit. So as long as we have an alignment with council and administration on what we think makes sense for the program, we are allowed to move ahead with either approving or rejecting applications. But we just would have to have a reason for doing so. And so if you remember in the last meeting that we had regarding the Rural North Stream program, we did actually come up with a few changes, right, to the program on, limiting the number of endorsements, I think, to 100, in a year. Also making sure that we only endorse people that have a Drayton Valley address. And so, all these changes, we can keep adding to them or even removing as we see fit based on how receptive the business community is. And of course, after we endorse a business or a person that a business wants to hire, that's when they will then go to the province. And of course, the province will have their own ways of going through that application and seeing if they align with what they are looking for as well. And so that basically there are three checks. There's us that check at the initial stages, then there's the province that checks for the nomination, and then of course the federal government is the one that will decide on issuing that permanent residency as well, right? So we'll definitely go through those steps and just making sure that, we can support those people, but as well be, but just make sure that we know what we're doing, really, is what we're trying to do at the moment.
So then a follow-up, and I think it goes to Councillor Gomana's point. If I apply, what's my timeline expectation?
So if you applied today, we, as a municipality, will try to get back to you within a month based on the application that you have. So each application is contingent to a different type of review based on what the job is that you're trying to fill. Some job requirements are a little more stringent for certain occupations. For example, if you are an automotive technician, that means that you would have to showcase that you do have, a trade certificate through the province. And if you're applying for a manager position, you have to show that you have, post-secondary education. And so there are all these levels of educational certification requirements based on the position. But within a month is usually the timeline for us. And then from there, that's when the province will take over. And so with the province, it changes quite a bit, right? In the last meeting we had with them last week, they did mention that they, have a queue of, 1,000 applications currently that are going through. And so they do take quite a bit of time, getting through all those applications. But with the new process that they have now in place for the expression of interest, I'm sure that they'll start prioritizing applications based on how many points those people accumulate on that criteria.
All right, point system. I got it. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just have one quick question, if I may. How do you become a qualified CEIP contractor? I notice we have 2 that are qualified and 1 that is working to be approved. What's that process, please?
Yeah, so through to the Deputy Mayor. So Alberta municipalities, basically through this program, tries to, as much as they can, have local vendors, take part in the program to make it a little easier for people that are already here in Drayton Valley. but as well, they have a network of businesses that might as well be in Edmonton, right, or other places close by. And so it honestly, when it comes to someone wanting to be qualified for being a contractor, so they basically have to just go through this application form set up by Alberta municipalities. I'm not too sure on those particular details on what's required exactly for a contractor. But then it's basically all through Alberta municipalities. And if they're able to go through that process with Alberta municipalities and get qualified, that's when we would know about it. And once we know about it, that's when it's easier for us to sort of like, direct people to certain contractors if they have questions prior to filling out an application. And so, I can certainly get more information on that if you'd want, and just let you know what they go through and what they look at exactly for a contractor. But yes, definitely through them.
Yeah, that's, I don't think I need additional information. I just was curious as to whether we were giving that approval, but it's through Alberta municipalities. So I would imagine that application has experience, a number of different questions about their actual qualifications. So that's fine. I don't need a follow-up on that. Any other additional questions? Councillor Sheriffs, please.
Kundi, I just have a question. So you mentioned that Drayton Valley currently has approximately 300 applications, and the province has about 1,000 that they're going through. So is Drayton Valley above average, considering the amount of applications in comparison to the provincial?
So through the Deputy Mayor to Councillor Sheriffs. So for the Rural Renewal Stream program, I guess every province in Alberta is allotted an amount of nominations that they can bestow to people that apply through the immigration programs. And so for the province of Alberta, when it comes to the Rural Renewal Stream program, I believe it's about 1,500 nominations that they can bestow. And so, of course, right, with 1,500 nominations, they try to give those out to people, I guess, that they think would provide as much value add in having, a permanent residency status here in Canada. And so if only I knew, how many other endorsements other municipalities are pushing out to sort of see how we rank in comparison to them. But I do know that, for us, 300 plus applications in about a year, it is quite a lot. And so it's one of those things where, in the last meeting that we had, I did try to point out that, if you were to look at all the nominations of, 1,500 that they do allow, and you divide that simply by all the municipalities that participate, it might be around, 23 nominations per municipality. And we're looking at 300 plus, right? So
That's what
yeah.
got me questioning it, because, 200 and some municipalities, 1,000 to 1,500 applications, yet we are sitting with 300. That seems way above average. So, it's very interesting. Thank you.
Any additional questions, comments? Thank you, sir. Now we're at, sorry, did you have another? Amila, did you?
I did.
Sorry about that.
No,
Didn't see it.
It's okay. I would have asked that separately as well. But so regarding the number of applications, I'm believing that, when we say 300 for what we've got, that's the municipality received, right? And I'm assuming the other municipalities would have received similar number of applications there. But how many number of applications from there going to the province is the number that you just mentioned. So I think we are not comparing apples to apples in my mind, but I don't know if I'm correct on that or not. But in my mind, I believe the number of applications that we are receiving as a municipality, if you go to Edson, Hinton, Jasper, probably similar number of applications, and then you filter that through, or the municipality filter that through, and then send it to the province. And the number of applications that they go through on the province and approve, that is the number that is 1,500 that they've put a cap, right? So that's my understanding. I'm not trying to, argue with the explanation that you've given, but that's how I understand the process works. Thank you.
Okay.
I could read your list. That was going to be my follow-up question. So out of the 300 so applications, how many have you passed on to the province?
So through the deputy mayor to councillor sheriffs. Yeah, so of the 300 applications that we received, we've of course endorsed 200 plus applications. And so through this audit we're doing right now, we're just trying to come to a solid number of how many we've actually endorsed overall and making sure that we endorse every single one prior to these new changes coming into place.
That would put us still at about 10 times the average. Thank you.
If I may, how many applications did the province approve from Great Valley?
So through the deputy mayor to councillor Gamana. So that number is not known to us. So the province doesn't share with us how many Drayton Valley applications they approve. And so at the end of the day, we're not too sure which they accept, which they approve, but we just know that based on the volume that we have, that it is quite a lot, right? Which is why I guess in the last meeting that we had, we tried restricting that to just 100 applications per year, so we can at least, endorse, 100 people that are looking to have a job here in Drayton Valley and hopefully have a lot of those go through to the province.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I believe that in the end, when we look at the number of approved applications from Drayton Valley, it will be up to par with other communities as well. So I will reiterate my comment before. I don't think we are comparing apples to apples here. Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you, sir. Now I'm wondering if maybe we want to take a little break. We've ground through a pretty good chunk here. So let's say we take 10 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I'll call us back in session at 10:37 or so. This is Terry. If you can go ahead and present your report, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Good morning, Deputy Mayor and members of council. So we'll start with utilities. Operations are ongoing as usual. Staff is working on fire hydrant winterization and is getting close to being complete. Camera work on the south sanitary trunk line has been completed. During the assessment, it was identified that one of the two twinned lines could potentially be clogged or plugged. It has been identified that that is the case. Silt buildup was the main cause of the blockage reported in that assessment. So we're doing extensive cleaning of that trunk line currently. Quarterly acute lethality testing for October was a pass. I know I did talk to council about trying to waive acute lethality sampling. We did put in an application. Unfortunately, the federal government or Oceans and Fisheries told us a little bit too late, so we didn't meet deadlines. So we have to wait for the next fail to reapply. The term position for utility operators has been posted externally. We had tours with the grade 4 students from Powerhouse Campus at the water treatment plant. We've issued letters to a few businesses that have been identified while doing sewer line flushing as contributing excessive grease to our sewer mains. Cleaning of Reservoir 2 and Water Treatment Plant Reservoir have been completed. Provincial Labs has now just told us that they will no longer be processing wastewater bacteriological testing for free. They will continue with the potable water testing, but for wastewater, it is no longer free. So starting January 2025, there will be an increase to operating costs for that sample requirement. Parks crews have completed laying sod at Memorial Park and installing the flower bed in that park as well. We continue to work on leaf pickup. Crews have been working with Public Works to clear up some of the smaller trees that are hindering the grader in the alleys. Majority of equipment is ready for snow operations and crews have started taking apart all of our planters for the season. Public Works helped haul mulch for cover at the landfill. They prepared the snow dump area for our winter seasons. All the pond fountains have been removed. Snow removal tender is closed and we're currently doing evaluations. Public Works is nearing completion of landscaping at Memorial Park. I believe yesterday was our last day. We finished doing all the concrete work for them. We've identified problematic trees for snow removal operations and are working with an arborist for town-owned properties and enforcement for the non-town-owned properties for maintenance. Our budget is nearing depletion for 2024, so we're going to be ending that contract shortly. Crosswalk, we're planned for repainting along 50th Street and 50th Ave. We've gotten a few done. Unfortunately, weather is kind of preventing us from continuing. We need at least 10 degrees or else it doesn't dry quick enough. We are pursuing warranty work for West Valley Trails. Those are the trails that we completed last year. And are requesting an extension to warranty with the contractors for an additional year, which they've agreed upon. Road sweeping is ongoing for leaves. Parks trail sweeping is underway as well. We completed additional pothole repairs on October 18th. We have now officially mounted both speed signs for enforcement. One is just west of McDonald's and the other one is north of Extra Foods. We anticipate beginning installing all the reflective striping, which was also approved with the speed signs on the crosswalks and stop signs that have been identified. Landfill and, I'll say one more thing. So the Omniplex, it's not in the report. There was a question about the barricades or the parking curbs. When I spoke to the concrete company last, they had 120 completed. So we're just going to kind of work out getting those delivered. We had a 210 in total, so they're still pouring for those, but anticipate we should get them pretty quick here. Landfill and engineering operations are ongoing as usual. We're reviewing the proposal RFQs for contractors regarding environmental monitoring and reporting for the 2025 fiscal year. Fall leachate sampling will begin shortly for annual report requirements. We had smooth operations for our free tipping days. Aspen Waste Management approval renewal is now complete. A new approval has been issued from AEPA until October 1st, 2034. We conducted an inspection on Peace Park Trails and DeBee Park Trails on October 25th, and phase 2 of 50th Ave is completed and the road reopened on October 26th. We'll now open it up for questions.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions from council? Well, I have a couple.
Of course you do.
You can't get away that easy.
No.
They're pretty easy ones. Can you just give us a quick rundown on what exactly is involved in winterizing your fire hydrants? I know, but the rest of council may not.
So most of our barrels are self-draining barrels in our fire hydrants. Unfortunately, some of the location these hydrants are placed are within areas that the groundwater table is quite high. So we open up a port, we drop a hose down each hydrant and we kick the pump on, we pump out the water until we no longer can pump water out of these hydrants, then we deem them dry. And that's the process. Some take 2-3 pump downs, but majority we can get done in the second pump down.
Takes a little time though.
Yeah, that's right.
Little time. So the silt buildup, you've addressed or you've talked to businesses where there's been you've established there's a grease buildup from those businesses. Have you, or are you looking into what's generating all this silt, or do you know, is it from sumps that aren't being cleaned, or is it breaks in the line, or do you know where it's coming from?
Thank you for the question. Some is contributed definitely to industrial businesses. We haven't gotten to the mainline cleaning of those industrial parks quite yet. We're working towards that. that would help us identify if
Yeah,
silt's
that would
coming
give you
from
some-
those users.
Some direction once
Yeah.
you see
Correct.
what's being affected of those lines. Okay.
Silt also, contributing factors to silt can also be from infiltration issues that we have identified. So that can also contribute to those issues as well.
So little gaps in the line here or there that the silt from the ground surrounding them will work its way into the line and plug
Yep,
it up.
that manhole's majority where all those rings, like when you bring the levels up. So if they're not sealed correctly, then you could get infiltration through those rings as well.
Gotcha. Okay, last question. Hauled mulch for cover for landfill operations. So is that mulch from around town that's been created that's hauled to the landfill? Or is that the existing mulch at the landfill that was hauled up to the top for cover?
Existing in the landfill from all the organics that we've received that we've mulched that we're using for cover. It works well.
Gotcha. So you feel that was worthwhile stacking up the organics and mulching it?
I'll let you guys know. I'll bring a report to you guys next year once we have a full season worth of it
Sure.
and kind of let you know if it was worth.
Okay, and that was kind of something that we pushed at the sustainability committee, that we, separate that, the wood and logs and stuff that we could mulch quite easily from what was coming into the landfill, and then using that pile of mulch we ended up with for day cover, just to cover up the garbage. So as Shelley said, we'll see what it cost us and if it's worthwhile or not. It does help with compaction as well. You're not trying to compact those chunks of wood in the landfill. So, okay, if there's no other questions, go ahead.
Questions, Deputy Mayor Evans. Two quick comments. The Peace Park, not the Peace Park, but the Memorial Park, it looks great. I was by it yesterday and by it today, and I can hardly wait to see the fire truck there. It's going to be quite exciting. So we want to cut a ribbon. Wanted to say about the tree cleanup. I asked about the budget this morning, but we're almost out. But they really have done a great bunch of work. I'm pretty impressed for what little budget we actually spent. I know the splash park I was by daily, and I just saw the work that was going on there was terrific. And so you had a good contractor working on it. So thank you for that. I want to ask a little bit about are we preparing for mulching the Weyerhaeuser path? Are we having any conversations about that?
I did bring Mr. Vincent up to speed on the Weyerhaeuser trails. So we're going to reach out to Weyerhaeuser and have a conversation, but I have not heard anything back since I sent the alignment to them and whether or not we were successful in a grant or not yet. So we'll reach out and get an update for you.
That grant would be through FRIA.
Correct.
So that's good to do that. We had a great conversation with both the mayor and I at the Alberta Forest Products Conference with Weyerhaeuser. Extensive. So they'll be ready. Whether the FRIA folks are ready, I don't know. So follow that. That's great. You also talked about warranty work. Say for the West Valley Trails, we've also got trails, West Valley and Peace Park, and that trail in between Shangri-La and Cobblestone. So are you looking at, is there a particular warranty thing that you're worried about?
No, it's just we had some cracking issues on the West Valley trails. So they've got to do some crack sealing and some other surface work on those trails that we've identified. But they're not going to be able to do that until spring. That's why we asked for an extension to that 1-year warranty, because our 1-year warranty is up in November of this year for West Valley trails. Peace Park and DeBee Park, it was just a new project. We did our walkthrough just to confirm that everything met our standards. And we will be doing another walkthrough come spring to identify any deficiencies with those trails as well, and we'll hold them to their warranties.
Terrific. Thank you, Shelley.
Welcome.
No other, please, Councillor Gamana.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Evans. Not a question, but a comment. I had the opportunity to drive on our new 50th a couple of times. It looks fantastic. I'm no engineer, but it looks good to me that you drive on it. Yeah, it was a big project. I think one of the biggest road project that we've done recent past. So just wanted to pass the kudos to the team and, getting that done in a timely fashion. I know there were some challenges along the way, and probably we'll have more challenges, of course, given the size of the project. But, well done, team, and thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
All done? I guess that's it. Thank you, Ms. Terry. Appreciate it. Okay, now we'll move into council reports. And then we'll receive them all once we're done. So Councillor Gamana, if you can start, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I had opportunity to attend the Paul Harris Fellow Awards, the Rotary Club Paul Harris Fellow Awards on the 17th. Two of the Drayton Valley's greatest got the award for contributing to the community. We've talked about Sandra Plates earlier in the day. Like Tom mentioned, she's everywhere volunteering in our community, and she's one of the recipients of the Paul Harris Fellow Awards, as well as Colleen Davey. She has been tremendous, again, giving back to the community. So those were the two recipients for this year for Rotary Paul Harris Fellow. It was a great evening, had a 5-course meal at Cobblestone Cafe. It's good to see some fine dining in our community as well. On the 18th, we had a meeting with MLA Boychenko. It was a good meeting that we discussed about, I guess, our priorities and province's priorities and how we can align both and work together to achieve some goals for the community. On the 21st, I had the opportunity to attend the FCSS tour. This is the yearly tour that we do with FCSS with some of the other councillors here. So we went from one organization to the other that FCSS funds, and it was good to understand what they do with the funding that FCSS provides. Also to see the impact that they make in our community. So that was an eye-opener every year for me anyway. So on the 24th, I had a newcomers support team meeting. Once again, we are trying to create a welcoming environment in Drayton Valley for newcomers to settle in here. The support team's task is to make them feel like home when they are here, as well as go through the process with them to settle in the community. Per se, when you are an immigrant from a different country, you may not know where to go for set up a bank account or even to pay taxes or anything else. So we're trying to get that supports in place for community. On top of that, I think there were some what's the right word? Some disturbing developments in the community. I've lived in this community for more than 20 years, but it's the first time I've seen a poster against immigrants in the community. So what it said was that immigration is invasion, economic locust will be deported, go back home. And it's unfortunate. This community is a very welcoming and very open-minded community. But recently, some of these things are coming up, and I believe we have a good part of immigrants in our community contributing back to the community. And it's sad to see that this is happening. I think we have a lot of work to do as the town to make this community a welcoming, inclusive, and diverse community. So just wanted to put that out there. I'm not sure how we can proceed with that and make some recommendations to the council, maybe have those discussions as a council and see what we need to do to deter some of these racist comments that's coming and disturbing some of the immigrants in our community that's actually contributing and supporting the community to grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gamana. And yeah, I'd like to think that it's a very small part of our community that is generating that kind of unacceptable information. Well, should I wait for last? Maybe we'll go to Councillor Sheriffs, please.
All right. So on October 17th, we had a Zoom meeting with Barry Morishita and Zach from Alberta Council, discussed some of the priorities that council has regarding meetings with ministers and such. On the 18th, had a meeting with MLA, and like Councillor Gamana said, discussed some priorities, especially regarding AHS and some of the struggles that every community in Alberta seems to be dealing with right now. The FCSS tour was absolutely fantastic. Every year, every time I go, it's an eye opener in a lot of ways. There's the food insecurities, kids, youth, community safety, a lot of good discussions. And it was really good to see quite a few of Brazos County councilors attend that one too. On the 22nd, I had a meeting with a community member who attended, I guess, a hall meeting sort of with the community concerned citizens. Brought a few really good points for further discussion. One of the things I'd like to actually ask now is, he had a Samsung phone and I have an iPhone. So opening town pages, we were clicking on the same links, but his phone wouldn't open the same link that my phone would open. So I'm not sure if there's something with our system, or I don't know how it works. I'm not really a techie person, but something maybe we should look into. Mhm. Yeah, that's what I thought should be, but there's a few links that we both clicked on and they would both open, and then you get to certain one and mine would open, his wouldn't. So just a thing like that, right? For community members who maybe have a desktop computer or a different kind of phone that can't access some of our information on their phones. It's just one of the things that I'm not, like I said, I'm not a techie person, but he mentioned something about HTML coding maybe isn't updated. I don't know. I thought I'd bring it up. Then had a Yellowhead Library Strategic Plan, and it looks like West Central Airship Society that I'm sitting on will be working with the libraries. We'll do a presentation early spring, and hopefully more libraries within Alberta will get the cool little cloud that we have in our library that monitors their air quality. And then on the 28th, I had a Brazos Foundation, Brazos Senior Foundation meeting. And at our last meeting, we approved the first steps to the expansion of the senior lodge. And just so you guys know, there's already 4 people on the waiting list for that expansion. And it's still not even, it's in the planning stages. So the need for housing is really high right now, but to have 4 people already apply for a waiting list for that expansion, that's just in the planning stages, is remarkable. That's it.
Thank you. Councillor McGee.
Sheriffs have mentioned is the FCSS too. This Councilor Gamana suggests it's really an eye opener. Every time I think, can I tie up a whole day to go through it? And every time I leave, I just think, my goodness, we do a ton of work for little resources. You know, we're talking $200,000 or $300,000, and then it spreads from there. And it's just amazing how many people work in our caregiving community, from taxes for seniors to Wild Rose School Division and the just the stories that are out there and the need. And we are sitting here as a community trying to decide how we're going to meet the needs. But Councillor Sheriff's mentioned that there were 5 members of the County of Brazeau Council, which I thought was wonderful. So between the two of us, meeting the needs of our community, I think it's coming closer. We just need to keep it really tight and keep talking about it to your affordable housing, to seniors housing, those kinds of things. So that's really all I would report on. Deputy Mayor Evans.
Okay, thank you, sir. And yes, I agree. The width and breadth of the services that are supplied, not just to the town itself, but also Brazeau County and the greater community is very large. They've got a lot of stuff going on there. And yeah, it's well worth it every year to attend, all right, just even for a reminder of what they've got on their plates.
Mr. Deputy Mayor, if I might just make a comment ancillary to Councillor McGee, the expenditure of $300,000, there are studies that show it has a quintuple effect. 5 times what we expend is the value by extension. So that $300,000 investment turns out to be $1.5 million of impact and benefits. So just wanted to add that fact.
Thank you for that. Yeah, again, just shows how worthwhile that funding is. Okay, I'll just go through my stuff quick here. On the 18th, also met with MLA Bochenko, and that's been covered. Also went on the FCSS tour, obviously. Yeah, lots of good stuff going on there. Lots of hardworking people. I had a couple of questions, but I think I'll maybe wait for next council meeting, maybe when Lola's here, and we can have a discussion then. Let me see. On the 22nd, Councillor Clark and I met with a businessman downtown here over some concerns. On the 24th, had agenda settings, and then we went over, the mayor and I, to next door to the Legion for the poppy presentation, the first poppies that they're started giving out. So that was nice to be part of. On the 28th, I went to the Pembina Synergy Group meeting. Yeah, again, the theme, which seems to be quite common with a few groups these days, was sort of emergency management, preparedness. And they did we had a presentation from a gentleman, and I know that Cody has been in touch with them. They're building a website for contractors, et cetera, anyone connected to emergency management, firefighting, any of those things has an opportunity to register on this website, and then us as a municipality can then use it as a reference and look people up. It's a great idea because that's a huge chunk of emergency management, just updating all of those contacts and contractors, et cetera, every year. This particular site requires a business or contractor to pay, though, and I think that's maybe the only thing that's going to kind of throw a wrench into that. It's a great idea. Would make things much easier, but hard to say the participation level. That would be my only concern. And I think I'll leave it at that. That's about it for me. So could I just get a motion from someone to accept both the departmental and the council reports for information, please? Councillor Sheriff?
I'll make motion that council accept the department reports and council reports for information.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Any council initiated items before we go into closed? Oh, I knew you couldn't let
Deputy
that
Mayor,
go
no,
by, Tom. I knew you couldn't let that go by.
Report, but I did not go to the pumpkin walk. Did anybody here go to the pumpkin walk? All right, I thought, Mr. Van Claveren, you would. I understand it was tremendous success.
Away from the microphone, but yes, it was. It didn't count. Recently, I think they said 50. Awesome, well done, well organized. So I think we will not see everybody in the market yet. It was the lots of young kids. The timing was awesome. It's decorations, services that had out there was great. I was surprised. Many people see now what we have this facility just outside of town. Hopefully they will come back the rest of the year as well, not just this one, the rest of the year. So, well done by the DPR.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. That's what I thought.
Thank you, Tom. And yeah, I agree. Great exposure for the community as a whole and what they have to offer. Councillor Gamana.
Thank you.
No worries.
Just when you talk about the pumpkin walk, I just wanted to put this out there. The EPBR is looking at getting a nature navigator van for youth, so they can be transported between town and the area to the education facility that they've built a few years ago. So there's a raffle going on 50-50. If you're interested, it's on their webpage, as well as the Rotary Club of Drayton Valley has partnered with them to carry out that raffle as well. If you feel like donating, please go there to the pages and take a look and see if this is something that you would like to donate. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And we did, sorry, you did make a motion? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss the vote again with those extra comments. Okay. Now we'll just look for council to a motion to move us into closed, and we all have a little tab here if someone would like to take advantage of that. Okay, Councillor Gamana, please.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion that council move into closed at 11:08 a.m. according to FOIP section 24(1)A and C. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we vote on that? Okay, all those in favor? Thank you.